all about the wingers, and we're talking about two iconic wingers to have lit up the Premier League in the past decade. Everybody watching this video obviously know these two players. We are not going way too far, so everybody must have watched these two players in the Premier League. And in fact, one of them is still playing in the Premier League and actively doing his thing. And we're talking about Alexis Sanchez of Arsenal and Manchester United. I wanted to erase Manchester United, but anyways, I just had to. And Son Heung-min of Tottenham, of course. Both wingers have been electric for their respective clubs, and we've seen some of the best wing displays, from both players over the years. But Victor, without wasting much time, who do you think, was better at the peak of their powers, and why?
I'm glad you mentioned Manchester United. It was a nice bit of salt in the wound for Max there for how that turned out. However,
Yeah.
I'm going with Sanchez here. In his prime, he was just as unplayable as Eden Hazard or Mo Salah. Honestly, he was getting great goals, great assist numbers as well. Even when playing for a not so great Arsenal side. He had pace, he had great decision making, trickery, the works, everything. Sure, Son in his prime, not far behind Sanchez, but behind nevertheless.
Mm, fair enough. Max, who do you think was more impactful for their respective clubs?
Uh, I mean, I was wondering if I could bring some trophies for these players, but you know, so I was going just to look like their longevity with clubs and their goals, assists, and
I mean, Sanchez has the FA Cup, though.
oh yeah, I'm sorry, the
Ooh.
legendary FA Cup. So yeah, actually, just looking at stats and longevity, I should choose Son, and I feel like, at least for me, he was more of a key player for team for Spurs than Sanchez for Arsenal at the moment.
If I may, I
Yeah,
have
sure.
to agree with this. I would go with Son for this as well because sure they haven't won a trophy with Son, but I think there are other guilty parties for that at Spurs, and I'm mainly looking at the boardroom. Son worked his ass off for that trophy drought to end, and it just hasn't happened. I think they would be further away from having a shot at silverware without Son than with him.
Okay, fair enough. And moving on, Victor, who do you think was more of a joy to watch on the ball?
Oh, Sanchez, surely. He had so many tricks up his sleeve. It just this is a no contest. The thing is, it all came as a package with some disciplinary issues, with sky high wages, but strictly from an entertainment standpoint, yeah, watching Sanchez dribble, honestly, poetry in motion.
Yeah, fair point. And Max, who would you rather have in your team as a manager?
Probably I choose Son here just because I remember how poor was Sanchez at Man United and how he was always trying to play himself, not playing with a team. So I'd say like Son is much more suited for modern football and like he's a team player, obviously. While Sanchez most of the time he's trying to do everything himself. So I feel like this is not how team works.
Kid Manchester United in one sentence without being asked to do so. That was what you just did. You blamed Manchester United basically.
And
moving
rightly so.
moving on, Victor. So I think Max already gave his own answer to this question. But which player's quality is more suited for modern day football?
Yeah, I'm going with Son here as well. Yeah, as
Hmm.
usual, I'm ping-ponging between the two players when it comes to these, but I think Son because of his leading by example, his leadership qualities, he's still playing at a top level. I know if we don't look at Spurs' league position this campaign, but yeah, I think we might also see a little bit of a revival from Son next season. I'm hoping for it because I've always liked him as a player. But I'm curious to see if it will be with Spurs or not.
Well, I don't know. I still think I'm going with Sanchez here. I've not
Oh
really
wow.
seen I've not really seen much over the years with Son, in all honesty, to make me feel like he has more to give. I don't feel like Son has more to give than what he's already given. And have you guys ever wondered, there's a reason why we've never really seen Son, some of the top clubs fighting for his signature. We've never really seen clubs fighting hard to sign Son in any transfer window. It has never really happened.
Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, it's also one of these situations where you look at the player and it's kind of obvious he would be very hard to convince to uproot. He
Every player can be convinced. I mean, Gareth Bale was convinced from Spurs. Modric, Harry Kane, any player can be convinced to leave. So I
I
think
don't
it's a
know.
matter of clubs saying whether you are worth the struggle or not. But anyway, Son is a quality player, despite the fact that he plays for Spurs. But he's already 32, and I don't think he has more to give than he has already given, in my opinion. So yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, for a 32-year-old winger, he's not getting faster. He's not getting more athletic. He's on the decline physically. So I don't. He's no Ronaldo anyway. So I don't think he's
That
going to age
that's
like fine
true.
wine.
That's true. It's just a matter of I'm looking at Spurs and I'm wondering what they'll do this summer if they win the Europa League title. Like if they play Champions League football next season, there will be an allure to the Spurs name.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how all of that goes. But for the sake of this video, it's clear there was no obvious winner because
Yep.
all answers, ping-ponged from both players, Alexis Sanchez, Son Heung-min. But for me, I think Sanchez is clear. I think the only dent in Sanchez's career is, joining a club where his best highlight was playing a piano. I think that was a big dent in his career. But in my opinion, I think I'm going with Sanchez. But now we want to hear what our users think. I mean, what our viewers rather think about both wingers. Who do you think was more electric? Who was more impactful? Who was more of a joy to watch? And if you were a manager, who would you rather have in your team?